Hey everybody out there, welcome back. We're here doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and today we're going to be doing lesson number 47. This is a good one. God is the strength in which I trust. And before I get into that, I just want to thank our sponsors, the Ocala National Forest. I'm actually here with my tree family. Part of this tree you can see in the shot, and the other part of the tree, kind of divided when it came out of the ground, is holding the camera for me. So thank you for serving as my crew and my support system today. Thank you for calming my nervous system with the beautiful forest bath that I was given as I walk through. Please let me continue to receive the wisdom of nature, all the downloads, and the continued desire to commune with you today and always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get into this lesson. Oh wait, one more thing I'm grateful for. My vest is reversible. So sometimes I'm gonna have a red vest with a little Yeti guy or Bigfoot, and other times it's gonna be stripes with different colors. How exciting. All right, God is the strength in which I trust. Let's see how you do with this one, everyone. If you are trusting in your own strength, you have every reason to be apprehensive, anxious, and fearful. Dang. What can you predict or control? What is there in you that can be counted on? What would give you the ability to be aware of all the facets of any problem and to resolve them in such a way that only good can come of it? What is there in you that gives the recognition of the right solution and the guarantee that it will be accomplished? Of course, you can do none of yourself. You can do none of these things. To believe that you can is to put your trust where trust is unwarranted and to justify fear, anxiety, depression, anger, and sorrow. Who can put his faith in weakness and feel safe? Yet who can put his faith in strength and feel weak? An optimistic turn, Jesus, thank you. God is your safety in every circumstance. His voice speaks for him in all situations and in every aspect of all situations, telling you exactly what to do to call upon his strength and his protection. There are no exceptions because God has no exceptions, and the voice which speaks for him thinks as he does. Today, we will try to reach past your own weakness to the source of real strength. 4 5-minute practice periods are necessary today, and longer and more frequent ones are urged. Close your eyes and begin, as usual, by repeating the idea for the day. Then spend a minute or two in searching for situations in your life which you have invested with fear, dismissing each one by telling yourself, God is the strength in which I trust. This is a powerful one. Now try to slip past all concerns related to your own sense of inadequacy. It is obvious that any situation that causes you concern is associated with feelings of inadequacy, for otherwise you would believe that you could deal with the situation successfully. It is not by trusting yourself that you will gain confidence. I'm going to say that one again because there's a lot of empowerment messages out there that are not giving us a lot to hold on to. It is not by trusting yourself that you will gain confidence, but the strength of God in you is successful in all things. Oh, there's a nuance here, and I hope that you grasp that. All right, the recognition of your own frailty is a necessary step in the correction of your errors, but it is hardly a sufficient one in giving you the confidence which you need and to which you are entitled. You must also gain an awareness that confidence in your real strength is fully justified in every aspect and in all circumstances. So we actually are truly, really, really strong, but the source of that strength, that's the issue. That's what the Course is trying to teach us. In the latter phase of the practice period, try to reach down into your mind into a place of real safety. Again, that descending path, down, 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 and in to find the light. You will recognize that you have reached it if you feel a sense of deep peace, however briefly, Let go all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind. Again, surface, going deep. See that? And reach down and below them to the kingdom of heaven. Reach down to the kingdom of heaven. Interesting, right? There is a place in you where there is perfect peace. There is a place in you where nothing is impossible. There is a place in you where the strength of God abides. During the day, repeat the idea often. Use it as your answer to any disturbance. Remember that peace is your right because you are giving your trust to the strength of God. So, God is the strength in which I trust. What happened as I was doing this lesson, reading it this morning, is just the idea of trust kept coming to me. And what I'm promising myself that I'm going to do is reframe things that upset me, particularly things that I believe are in the outside world, which this year, doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles, is making me more and more convinced that I am actually creating everything. And the slightest little tweak in my practice, I do notice something in the outside world. And hopefully it's not my bias, right? But I think this is working, and I'm not trying to rely on confidence in myself. I'm relying on this material and my real deep feeling of connection with my guides, Jesus, Ananda, my deceased parents and other relatives, my deceased pet Mocha. I feel like there's messages coming through to me that are having a more of an anchored feeling in my consciousness, more so than a lot of the books I'm reading and different things I'm, experiencing in my awakened state. This is like what comes to me in meditation. I'm really starting to trust that. So I just came from this Los Angeles Conscious Life Expo over the weekend, and while I was there, I had the great opportunity to watch two people who I admire very much present live. That would be Sasha Stone and Del Bigtree. And you can go to their websites and see what it is that they are advocating for and against. But what I took away from it in the moment, as I'm trying to bring my Course in Miracles lesson to mind over and over and over again that day, which on that day it happened to be, God is my source, I cannot see apart from him. I noticed that I was feeling these feelings of anxiety, depression, sadness, because the way these gentlemen present, it's like the world is fucking you over, and basically, yes, you can change your perception, and they do touch on tools briefly, but most of their presentations are about how fucked up everything is. And yes, it's good information, but to me, it almost reminds me of having like a chocolate addiction or like a salty, crunchy addiction. Like you just sit there and you're just like, just gobbling up all this, nefarious, oh man, they're busted now. Like we know what they're doing now. But then when you walk out of that room and everybody disperses and you're not this big collective, strong, resurrection energy, you're like just you again. I think it gets into your psyche a little. It's like, man, there's some real shit going on that I didn't know about. And it bothers me that there's these people that are in positions of power and they're taking advantage and yada, yada, yada. So I wrote this sentence down, and my notes are a little wild. It's interesting how my handwriting even changed when I wanted to do the reframe. So I wrote down a couple of sentences, and I'll just read these to you because this is funny. Clearly and obviously, the crosshairs are on babies, children, and anyone of any age who trust in and rely upon allopathic medical care. The government, pharmaceutical companies, banks, all major corporations, big food, big ag, etc., collude by design in order to facilitate the sustained weakening and eventual destruction of human beings. That's what I walked away with from, Del Bigtree's was the second one that I watched. Sasha Stone was the day before. So anyway, what I decided to do today, as I was reading this lesson about trust, I started asking myself, who am I putting my trust in? Am I really trusting even these men who I love and admire so much, and they've got nonprofit organizations going and they are collecting funds to do good works in the world. But even that seems like it's not satisfying enough to calm my nervous system about all the information that they just provided. So I want to create a future, and I want to use my creative power and my, frankly, feminine power the power that emanates from my womb. And then I have a winged friend flying over me right now. And I also found this feather on my walk this morning. So I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a nod here from nature. So I want to use my womb space, that's unconditional creative energy that is constant and is a balance to this tremendous, amazing work that my male brothers have put together to inform humanity. All the work that they're doing is based in the fact that they happen to be incarnated in male bodies during this time, and they are actively going out into the world. They're conceiving these ideas and physical, Sasha Stone is building properties. He's got a place in Bali. He's working on a place in Mexico. He's put out a lot of substances that are like superfoods and different things to kind of like biohack any medicines that may be in you that are hurting you and things of that nature. And then, as far as Del Bigtree, he's filing a lot of lawsuits against pharmaceutical companies and different agencies to try to regulate and properly advise the public on what is contained in these substances that we're forced to have in our bodies, from being a young child all the way through adulthood. So what I came away from it was like, okay, I want spirit to talk through my womb and see what comes out. So the writing, even the letters, it's calmer. My nervous system was calmer. I felt that sense of deep peace because I had just done the lesson and this came to me immediately following. So what came out was this, a contrast to the paragraph I just read to you. The elder council, healers, medicine people, abundance keepers, not bankers, inventors, farmers, creators, and animal rescue centers, because yes, I believe at some point in the future there will be no more consumption of flesh. That's just me. Work together to teach and empower the humans as they gracefully move through the ascension process. That is the world I want. I'm going to read it again. The elder council, no more government. Healers, no more pharmaceutical companies. Medicine people, abundance keepers, inventors, farmers, creators, and animal rescue centers work together to teach and empower the humans as they gracefully move through the ascension process. So that's in its nascent stages, if that's my mission statement, but that's how I feel. I feel like that's a beautiful complementary statement to all of the deluge of scary material that you can find yourself swimming in if you're a regular consumer to some of these channels and some of the material and content that comes forth. Again, I deeply love Sasha and Del and Dr. David Martin, Kathy O'Brien, all the people who have spoken out because of their personal experience with some, crazy things that have happened in the world. And what the Course in Miracles is teaching me is they're all an aspect of me, showing me that I still have trust issues. Because if I really trusted God, I wouldn't give a shit about any of that. I'd say, well, it's all perfect. It's all unfolding exactly the way it should. And I'm so glad to be here. That's what our response should be when we hear, scary stuff about what's happening or what's about to happen. We're all waiting for the event, right? What if the event is like an unending orgasm of bliss? I mean, bring it on. I'm ready for that. So anyway, enjoy your lesson today. Thanks for paying attention and listening in to my thoughts if you stayed this long. And I'm excited. We're going to talk again on Tuesday, 7 p.m. And I'm looking forward to this unfolding. Be grateful. Be proud of everything that you've experienced, everything you've discovered. Be proud of yourself for coming to this material. And trust that when you're trusting God, you're actually leaning on your true strength, because it is a part of you. God is in you. We are God. So when you trust God, that's trusting your truth. And you've got this. We've got this. Lots of love to all of you. I'll see you back here again tomorrow.